Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Holman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Holman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we talk with Dr. Bill Brown from KDA about his discovery of avian influenza in Kansas. Inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Soybean discusses managing weeds in your fields, and Kansas Farm Bureau discusses tools to help you during this burning season. In the news you need to know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. Pork prices are forecast to be down 23 cents per pound this year, as PEDV losses were lower than expected, according to Purdue University economist Chris Hurt. Hog prices last year reached record highs, with the national live price reaching $100 per live hundredweight because consumers feared that great shortages would result from PEDV. The actual drop in production was only 2%. Stress margins continue to sway farmers' planting decisions this spring, forcing major shifts in crop choices for 2015, according to the Farm Futures' latest survey of growers. Farm Futures found growers gearing up to plant 88.3 million acres of corn this spring, down 2.5% from 2014. Farmers said that they were ready to put in 87.2 million acres of soybeans, easily an all-time high, and 42% more than the record set in 2014. The family farm is alive and well in the United States. The USDA's National Ag Statistics Service says 97% of the nation's 2.1 million farms are family-owned, according to the 2012 Census of Agriculture. 88% of all U.S. farms are small family farms, and 58% of all direct farm sales to consumers come from those small family farms. On the other end of the spectrum, 66% of all dairy sales and 64% of all vegetable sales come from large family farms. Small farms have less than $350,000 gross cash farm income in a year. Large farms have gross cash farm income exceeding $1 million per year. And in local news, Monsanto said on Wednesday it has entered into a settlement agreement with wheat farmers in Kansas and 6 other states to resolve lawsuits stemming from the 2013 discovery of an unimproved GMO wheat variety found growing in an Oregon field. Under the settlement and without any admission of liability, Monsanto has agreed to make donations of $50,000 to agriculture schools at the land-grant university in each state to further the interest of wheat farmers and the wheat industry. Kansas State University officials are hailing a recent partnership with food giant General Mills as a win-win proposition that ultimately will benefit the state's farmers and consumers worldwide. The two groups have formed a research agreement to develop wheat varieties with improved nutritional, milling, and baking qualities. The multi-year project will pump more than $400,000 into wheat development at the university. General Mills' company history dates back to 1880 with its signature gold medal flour, still the #1 selling flour brand in the United States. Kansas feedlots with a capacity of 1,000 or more head contain 2 million cattle on feed on March 1st, according to the USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service. This inventory was up 1% from last year. Placements during February totaled 355,000 head, up 6% from 2014. Fed cattle marketings for the month of February totaled 355,000 head, up 13% from last year. Other disappearances during February totaled 10,000 head, unchanged from last year. Up next in our Ag Future, we talk with Dr. Bill Brown from KDA about his department's response to the avian influenza in Kansas. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com. A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in Southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Kansas Weed Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for weeds. Online at kswheat.com.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Pope, here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
The 20th Annual Kicker Country Stampede, starring Blake Shelton. Yeah, the boys round Florida Georgia Line. This is how we roll. Travis Tritt. Also from the Cynics main stage, Thomas Rhett. Miller Lite, the official beer of Country Stampede. Our prices increase February 28th. Get yours now. Get them now before the price goes up. Like us on Facebook or buy online at countrystampede.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Looking for that new vehicle with that low payment? Well, look what Dick Edwards in Manhattan and Junction City is offering on these vehicles. Lease payments as low as $169 a month, or check these out at $199 a month. But wait. See what you can get for as low as $299 a month. With 9 manufacturers to choose from, we've got what you want. Dick Edwards in Manhattan, Junction City. Check us out at dickedwardsauto.com. Choose your payment, choose your vehicle, choose Dick Edwards as your dealer.
Thanks for staying with us. We're at the Kansas Department of Agriculture today, and we're joined by Dr. Brown. Dr. Brown, thanks for joining us this morning.
You bet.
Big news here in the state of Kansas. We had a confirmed case of avian flu in Missouri. KDA scrambled and kind of put together a quarantine zone in Cherokee and
Crawford
County. Walk us through the process of, once we have something identified, we know that it's there, how do we get to quarantine?
Okay. Let me use the Southeast Kansas event as an example. We got notification that Missouri had an infected flock, and of course they basically draw kind of a circle around. The infected zone is 3 kilometers, and then it expands out to 10 kilometers for the buffer zone. So those 2 zones comprise the control zone. So it just so happened that that commercial flock was close enough to the Kansas border that when they drew the zones, we had a little bit of the infected zone and buffer zone come into Kansas and catching those 2 counties. So once we got notification that those there was an infected flock there, then we set in motion. And they had already drawn the circle, and we knew from the maps what we were part of. And we comprised about a third of that entire 10-kilometer circle. So once that was established, then we set in motion, along with our partners, USDA Veterinary Services and KDA folks, our Division of Animal Health, and then formed the teams and identified an incident commander. We use the ICS Incident Command System, and we had an operations chief, a planning chief and everything else on that organizational chart, and put them on the road pretty fast.
Yeah, because if you look at the quarantine zone, it's a couple of blocks here, a couple of blocks here, it's kind of strange how that figures in, but now I kind of understand how things kind of
the way that circle, it just caught part of Pittsburgh, and of course most of the area was rural, and we had our survey teams go out first, and then to establish where those flocks might be, backyard flocks. We knew what made that one different. There was a commercial flock involved, and so then it was out in Missouri, but we had to establish where our flocks were in the state of Kansas.
In the short amount of time we have in the first segment, windborne, I mean, can this be blown into Kansas?
Most likely came from migratory wild birds. The H5N2, which is the genotype, that's the same that they found on the Pacific Flyway. Kansas had the distinction, this is the first time of a case in the Central Flyway. And of course, Missouri is the Mississippi Flyway.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about maybe the permits you need to move any live animal in and out of that quarantine zone. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. Farmers Insurance, your best protection against the unexpected. Call Agent Dan Key at 785-408-5459. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Blue River Traders, the finest selection of Western-style furniture for your home. BlueRiverTraders.com.
Thanks for staying with us. Dr. Brown, thank you for staying with us. We're at KDA in Manhattan. We're talking about avian influenza, here in the state of Kansas. Leavenworth, now the hot button here in the state of Kansas. Same principle, if we want to move anything in and out of that area, we still have to have special permits.
Right. In southeast Kansas, the Cherokee-Crawford area, we have a movement quarantine in place, and there, if people want to move, they can call our office and get a permit. We just need that information of movement of poultry or poultry products. This doesn't include, eggs you buy at the grocery store, anything like that.
Don't call if you bought eggs at the grocery store.
Right. But now we've closed that situation event down in Pittsburgh, where our command center was, and we've opened up a new command center in Basehor, Kansas, in Leavenworth County, and we had a positive infected premises there. It's a H5N2 type, and so we've got several survey teams that are going out yesterday and today, and they should pretty much finish up today, again trying to locate where the flocks were, and then starting tomorrow we will send in surveillance teams where they will test those birds that the survey teams have identified.
Now, are those closed flocks that we're talking about and just somehow got infected?
Well, it could be. I mean, the infected premises, we hope that's the only infected premises, but that buffer zone is where we go out working from the infected zone outward, and once we identify where all those flocks are, we'll go in and test a certain number of birds of each flock, and send those off to the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab where they're tested. And of course, we hope they all come back negative and that we've just got an isolated infected flock.
What should someone be thinking about now in the Leavenworth, Basehor area? We've got chickens in our backyard.
Right.
What should we be thinking about?
Well, if they're in that 10-kilometer buffer zone, we're encouraging people with backyard flocks to self-report their flocks. It helps us out. If they can use, we have a email address specifically dedicated for somebody that's wanting to self-report, and that's hpai@kda.ks.gov. And we've had several people do that, and that just eliminates a lot of phone calls.
If your farm does not have a herbicide-resistant management plan, it is never too late to start one. Weed scientists say beginning with a few practices can go a long way. First, start weed-free. Before the planter rolls, fields should be clean, whether by cultivation or herbicide burn down. Second, think pre-emergent. While many farmers have been relying on post-emergent herbicides for years, experts strongly encourage hitting weeds before they start to grow. Residual control is valuable in allowing soybeans and other crops time to reach canopy and shade out weeds. Third, diversify. Experts long have preached the importance of using herbicides with diverse modes of action. Do not treat the same weeds with the same chemistries every year. Fourth, scout. Walking fields after applying post-emergent herbicides will reveal whether any resistant weeds have survived. If some did escape, do what you have to do to get rid of them and their resistant genes. Visiting with an agronomist or a crop consultant is a good first step. Ask what system of weed control has been successful in your area. You do not have to reinvent the wheel for success. And remember, weed control always has been and always will be an ongoing, changing process. Learn more on the web at takeactiononweeds.com.
It's that time of year that we'll begin to see prescribed pasture burns occurring throughout much of the Flint Hills region of Kansas and Oklahoma. And with that, there's a couple of things that folks should be aware of. First, a key element of the Kansas Flint Hills Smoke Management Plan is the information and the smoke modeling decision tools available at www.ksfire.org. While the Smoke Management Plan is a voluntary program, ranchers are encouraged to go online before they burn and use the tools available. The Cumulative Fire Impacts page in particular has a map updated daily that shows the potential air quality impacts of fires occurring that day and the next in various parts of the Flint Hills. Smoke from fires in areas colored red have a high possibility of decreasing downwind air quality. Fires in areas that are yellow have an elevated chance of negatively impacting air quality, and green indicates counties or portions of counties in which a prescribed fire would have little to no effect on downwind air quality. Clearly, the smoke modeling decision tools available at www.ksfire.org are only a small part of a resource manager's burn plan, but they can provide a big assist in maintaining air quality for downwind communities. Secondly, we need to be aware that the tallgrass prairie is both a unique and vanishing natural resource, with less than 4% of the original area still in grass today. More importantly, we need to understand that prescribed fire is not only the most effective tool in maintaining and managing what remains of this special ecosystem, but it comes at a fraction of the cost of the next best alternative and must remain a viable option in the range manager's tool belt.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Impact Satellite, your local authorized DirecTV dealer. Impact Satellite at 785-554-5974.
Looking for that new vehicle with that low payment? Well, look what Dick Edwards in Manhattan and Junction City is offering on these vehicles. Lease payments as low as $169 a month, or check these out at $199 a month. But wait. See what you can get for as low as $299 a month. With 9 manufacturers to choose from, we've got what you want. Dick Edwards in Manhattan, Junction City. Check us out at dickedwardsauto.com. Choose your payment, choose your vehicle, choose Dick Edwards as your dealer.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness service to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Dick Edwards is taking North Central Kansas by storm. We've been bending over backwards to exceed your car buying experience for over 30 years. Choose from one of our 9 different new car brands or from our second-to-none used selection. Currently, with over 700 vehicles to choose from, we definitely have the one for you. Whether you're coming from the north, south, east, or west, our sales and service departments will work tirelessly to do what's right for you. Dick Edwards in Manhattan and Junction City. Bending over backwards for you.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Kansas legislative tax committees continue to hold hearings on various bills. This is in anticipation the legislature will be forced to increase taxes to balance the 2016 state budget. As with all pending tax bills, lawmakers are not expected to vote on any tax measures until the veto session starts April 29th. Thus far, the tax committees have yet to schedule hearings on Senate Bill 178 or Senate Bill 264. Senate Bill 178 is the bill estimated to increase property taxes on agricultural land by more than 500%. Senate Bill 264 proposes to impose a sales tax on farm machinery and equipment, repair and replacement parts, and labor costs for repairing farm machinery and equipment. The Kansas Livestock Association opposes both of these bills. The Senate Committee on Assessment and Taxation has held a hearing on a bill that would impose a sales tax on gas, electricity, and other fuel sources used for residential and agricultural use. Senate Bill 261 would raise an additional $139 million in state general funds. KLA submitted testimony in opposition to this bill as well. The House Tax Committee held a hearing on a bill that would impose a 4.33% excise tax on ethanol, wind, solar, and other forms of renewable energy production. To date, the bill has not been scheduled for a vote.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Chris Haverkamp with Paragon Ag, and as we take a look at this week's markets, we really want to take a look at what's coming up next week. On Tuesday, we have the USDA Prospective Plantings Report and the Ending Stocks Report. Now, this does kick off the season of volatility for the marketplace. Obviously, one of the largest and most significant reports for the upcoming growing season. Right now, we're expected to see somewhere between 87 and 89 million acres of corn planted. Soybeans expecting somewhere between 85 and 87 million acres. And of course, whether we land on the north side or the south side of those estimates is going to create the volatility that the market has been anticipating for the last several months. In fact, the corn complex has been moving sideways over the last 3 to 4 months, and once we truly break out, we anticipate a large degree of volatility to pursue. As far as the wheat complex is concerned, we've seen a large degree of winter kill and drought concerns develop over the course of the last 30 days as the wheat's broken dormancy. And we feel like the wheat still has some upside potential, but it will not be the leader in this particular USDA report. However, wheat volatility has perked up quite a bit. We just simply can't justify further strength based upon the fundamentals that we currently see, i.e. lack of export business. As we wrap things up today, we take a look at the cattle complex, and we fully believe that the cattle trade right now is a selling opportunity with a lot of break-evens exactly where the market is right now. So we would utilize this value as an opportunity to get some hedging in place. Again, I'm Chris Haverkamp with Paragon Ag. Have a great weekend.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.